Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Welcome to our webinar to answer your questions and just to continue to communicate with us during this time when we are kind of sequestered. So we value your time and we appreciate watching us live or via recording. The purpose of these webinars, which will take place each Thursday at 2 p.m. for the next 3 Thursdays, is to share some background on how God has brought Rancho Santa Margarita Christian School to life and answer questions you may have about the school. We have limited time, so we will be ending by 3 o'clock, so we need to stay on track with that. We know many of you are primarily concerned about changes that will be implemented as a result of COVID-19. A number of your questions were answered in the video we shared last week. Many details are still unknown as the start of our 2020 school year is still 3 months away. As you know, a lot can happen in a short time. Less than 3 months ago, we were all going about our normal daily lives with work, school, shopping, sports, and entertainment. All that changed only 10 weeks ago. So it would be nearly impossible to predict any degree of certainty as to what life will look like at the end of August. With that being said, we are proceeding with plans to begin school on August 26th as normal. We will be discussing potential safety precautions in the weeks to come, and will communicate those guidelines as they are determined. Our intent is to provide a loving, safe environment which our students can learn and grow. As such, we will be carefully considering scientific data, evidence-based practices, and the realities of what can be expected of students, especially those in the earlier grades. Our goal is to provide a school experience that is as normal as possible. Today, I want to briefly announce to you and introduce to you, if you have not done so already, through our videos, Pastor Ryan Oddo, Senior Pastor at the Bridge Church, and the church will now be our spiritual covering, which is awesome. And then Lori Jensen, principal, comes from Saddleback Valley Christian. She's going to be our academic principal. We'll be working with the teachers, and you'll be seeing a lot of her, and she's got great ideas. We're very excited to have her. It's going to make us awesome. And then we have Mike Margy. He may be a familiar face to some of you. We asked him to come on and be our vice principal. He's going to be in charge of our student affairs, which basically anything that the students are involved with, from spiritual life to athletics and to assisting the teachers in any way that they need from him. He's going to take care of that. So that's our team. In today's discussion, I'm going to ask Pastor Ryan to share how God led the Bridge to begin a Christian school and share some of his vision for the foundation and future of Rancho Santa Margarita Christian School. Then we're going to answer your questions. We have a number of questions that were submitted in advance. You also have the option of submitting a question during the call. Please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to submit a question. We would ask that you do not use the chat function or raise your hand, as we are not able to respond in real time to your comments. Now I'd like to introduce you, Pastor Ryan, and he's going to share his heart with you. And I'm sure you're going to want to hear what he has to say.
Well, I was asked to share kind of the journey of how we got here. I feel like I shared it a lot about 3 weeks ago, maybe, at the different meetings we were having. And you know, you might be surprised to know this journey for us probably began 3.5 years ago or so, when continually looking at this campus and considering what God's plan is and was for how he wants us to steward it, steward our relationship with the school, what he saw in ministry going forward. We felt like we really need to hear from him on that. So we actually took time, our whole leadership at the church, our elders, our pastoral staff, our church council, we all took time. We took about a month, and we just said, Lord, we want to hear from you on this. And we did fast, and we did pray, and we came together and talked together and prayed some more. And to be honest, we came out of that time with only one point of clarity. That was it. And the only point of clarity we had was that this campus would be one. Whatever is going to happen here would be one. And from there, we didn't know what else would come of that. So we came back to the school and said, listen, we don't know everything that the future holds, but we do know this, that God's really calling this campus to be unified. It's going to be one. So how do you feel about that? And, obviously speaking from my understanding of the process with the board and students and the school itself, that began a journey of trying to discover, okay, is the Lord, what has he got for the school? Are we going to be here? You guys might have remembered that journey, trying to look at locations, trying to determine what the long-term plan was for here on this campus. Do we want to be one? Anyway, that's kind of what helped kick-start that journey. And I think it probably got stalled for a little bit, and then kind of kicked back into high gear in this last year. And I know a big part of that was Principal Lewis coming on board and really helping to say, let's chart a course, let's hear what the Lord's up to, let's discern something. And that journey kind of came back with a decision that we just felt like the Lord was saying we want to stay. And so that kind of came back to the church. We want to stay. This is where we want to be. And if that means being one with the church, that's what we want to do. And so then we said, okay, well, let's give a little time for this relationship to build, to marinate, and let's give some time really for the school itself to get healthy. And that was kind of a little bit of that waiting period. You might have felt it. You might have been aware of that. But we were just saying, Lord, this school has to grow. At the end of the day, this has to become a really healthy scenario for this entity to be healthy altogether. And while the relationships continue to grow, and the relationship between the church and the school, and our love for the teachers and their understanding of who we are as a staff, and the opportunity to connect, and our boards connecting, and all of that, all those things matured awesomely, and they were actually it was a fun journey, fun year. But in the end, obviously, some of the challenges the school was facing, those didn't change, and the scenarios here didn't change. And we found ourselves kind of saying, ultimately, we want to say yes, but it just is not a healthy scenario. That kind of came to a couple months ago, where the board just approached the church and said, hey, listen, we got to know. We got to know where the church is at on this, because we've got to make a decision on what and if we can even continue to go forward. And that will depend on what you say. And we had so many great talks. And it's just so neat to see the way the Lord met us in that moment. And we left that meeting with so much, I think, hope for a future together, but without a path forward. Things just couldn't work the way they were. And so we left that meeting saying, okay, guys, we kind of want to, but we need a couple things, one or two things to happen. Either one, we need just a clear word from the Lord saying, listen, I got you. I'm calling you out of the boat and come walk on the water, and trust me that I'm going to do this thing. It's that kind of clarity. Or we need another way. We need kind of like a Red Sea moment. We need a way through what seems like an impossible opportunity. So that's where we left it. That was a Wednesday. Friday of that same week, we had a letter that was on my desk the week before, was from Saddleback Valley Christian School, saying they were looking for some space. Could we rent X amount of square feet? And that led to a phone call just to saying, hey, listen, we're not interested in that. And as far as that would be a landlord-tenant relationship. We know God's called us to be one on this campus. We're in the middle of a bigger conversation with our school here about what that could be. Would you be interested in that talk? And they said, let's meet. Well, Wednesday, we said we need another way. Friday, we were in a meeting with a couple board members and the head of school at Saddleback Valley, and the answer was, we feel yes to move forward with this conversation. And literally that started a journey that lasted about, a week and a half from start to finish, where we brought everybody together and all three entities and said, is the Lord really doing this? Is this him? Is this that way through the Red Sea that we were hoping for? Is this that miracle that we were praying for? And that ended up with a Saturday meeting in the multi-purpose room where all representatives from all three organizations were together, and we just said, like, this is the Lord, and the Lord has done this, and he's done it out of the blue. I mean, in the 11th hour, he showed us the way forward. And that was, I'm just fast forwarding. I'm leaving out a lot of great details and cool parts of the journey, but that is the miracle that started Rancho Santa Margarita Christian School, and these three entities becoming one on this campus. So anyway, I just bringing you up to speed on how that's been, and it's something that we keep celebrating. So what we're convinced of is the Lord's in it, and we're convinced that He's going to take it all the way. He's got plans and thoughts for this and for the continuing ministry of a Christian school in this community, in this area, and we're excited to see where He's taken all of that. So,
Thank you. That was an amazing summary of everything that's gone on, and it has been an exciting season for all of us to see God work. We're going to take some time now just to answer some questions that were submitted earlier, and we want to just remind you, please do not use the chat feature, and then you can submit your questions, and we will try and answer those to the best that we can. And use the Q&A feature to answer the question. Ask questions. I'm sorry, ask the questions. There you go. So now we're going to have some of the members of the panel just answer some questions for you. So question number 1.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here today. I'm Lori Jensen, if you haven't seen the other videos, and I'm super excited to be the academic principal next year. We've already met with a lot of the teachers, and we've already started talking, so we have some great things planned. So question number 1, I'm just going to roll it all into one question. How many students are coming over from SPCS? San Juan Cap is pretty far away. How are we inviting and attracting them? So the first question, how many are coming over? Right now, those numbers are growing, but we still have more that we are trying to recruit. I would love for them all to come over, but obviously that's not God's plan, because we need to be where God calls us to be. So that number will be coming over. I would feel comfortable saying the majority of the students though on the campus will be your Mission Hills Christian School students who will become our RSM students. But I think it's going to be a great marriage of families and teachers and students. Yeah, San Juan's pretty far away from here, but we actually already drew quite a few students from this area who were willing to drive to San Juan. So those are also some of the families that we're hoping to capture. We're right in their backyard right now, so you might as well stop driving 25 minutes and take 5 minutes to come and drop your kids off here. The way that we're inviting and attracting them, we have emails that are going out to the SPCS students and families. I'm contacting some of them personally. Our teachers are reaching out to them. So we are actively, I don't want to use the word recruiting, but we're actively asking them to consider joining with us. Hope that answers that question for you guys. Question number 2, how many students total do we need to continue to thrive? Bill and I were talking about this just a few minutes ago. Ideally for this next coming school year, we would love to be a campus of 220. Ideally, we're inching closer to that number. But as we're talking, we also want to talk about future plans. We would love for this campus to once again be a student body of 300, 350, just so that the more students we can reach for the Lord. So our goal, yes, we have an end goal of where we would like to be eventually. The budget that we're working on right now is based off of our current enrollment, but that can be adjusted as more students enroll. But for this year, if we could reach 220, so that's something for you guys to pray about. Invite your friends. We're right in their backyard. This is going to be a great community. And I really want this school to be the shining light of RSM, to reach all of these families for the Lord, bring them in to hear the gospel, get a well-grounded education, and just, we want to minister to them. So 220 would be fabulous. So that's a homework assignment for you. Pray about those students that are coming and help us to be prepared. So, thanks.
Thank you for Lori. One of the questions was what's happening with the Mission Hills Christian School faculty and staff. You will not see any major changes. The faces that you've been used to in the classroom and our support staff are going to remain the same, and we're just adding. We're adding to our numbers and our leadership in the classroom, bringing those teachers over from Saddleback Valley. We're very excited to have a very, very experienced and competent and just a dream team. I've used that term before, but we're going to have a phenomenal faculty. And with the admin team and the support of the Bridge and Pastor Ryan, we just have a win-win scenario here. And so you will not see a lot of difference in terms of our people, but you will see a lot of new faces because we are increasing, and God is causing that increase. So we're very excited about that.
So another question that was asked is, will we have to buy all new uniforms for next year? Just so you know, we are working on the branding for RSM right now, what that's going to look like, if there's going to be color changes, the plaids or whatever. But we also understand buying uniforms is a huge expense for families. So we are going to come up with some type of a plan. It's not set in stone yet, so that there would be a grace period for us to figure out how to make this a minimal cost for our families coming from both schools who have two different uniforms. What could we do? But we do want to make it as minimal of a financial impact as we can for all of you that are coming over, because as someone who used to have to buy school uniforms for my own daughters when they were going to school, I understand the cost that is. And so we want to really work together to make that as much of a non-issue as we can, but we are working on that currently.
All right, so I get to finally answer a question. They didn't let me answer any questions. For those of you who don't know me, I am Mike Margy. I will be the vice principal this year. I'm so excited to be back home. This is my home. My question that I get to answer is, will the school calendar remain the same as it was previously sent out back in January? As of this moment, the answer is yes. Things can come up. We don't foresee anything coming up, but I know some of you like to make plans for vacations and things like that. And next summer, I'm sure people are going to be able to fly again and go on cruises and things like that. And so my family's the same way. My wife plans out a year in advance sometimes, making reservations. So as of this moment, we want you to know that the first and last days of school are as they are. You can find it on the website. It's on there, the calendar. Could there be some minor changes here and there from different things like a grandparents' day or something? Yes, we could change those things. But as of right now, the schedule you see on the RSM website, also the Mission Hills website, it's a joint. That's the schedule that we're going to have for next year.
Before we move to the next question, please use the Q&A feature on your app there to ask any questions. Okay?
So the next question says, what is the Bridge Church's role in our school? It's a great question. Ultimately, depending on what angle you're looking at for that question, the idea and the hope is that as one entity, as the school, a ministry, part of our church family as well, that the church can really be a blessing to the school. Our heart is and has always been helping release that potential in people and seeing people become who God created them to be. And so for us to think through the ministry opportunity of seeing our kids, investing in them, investing in the teachers that are going to invest in their lives, and helping them become who God created them to be, to pursue their calling as they step into their careers. But to even understand that God's got a plan for them. Those are some of the creative ways that we love seeing this school continue to thrive and grow. I think our hope is to find some more even synergies with how we can be a blessing to families, equip families, and use whatever means we have to cause families, parents, just to feel like they're being resourced in marriage, home, parenting, any of those possible ways, reaching our city, the city of Rancho, Santa Margarita, and the surrounding area, opening new doorways and pathways for the school to be able to even impact this community with some of those new ways. But ultimately, we hope our impact in the school is investment, investing in this incredible team that help assemble here to help lead the school forward, invest in and seeing this campus refreshed and take its next steps forward. and invest in a future that really, without being one, we couldn't see one. So a future where, you know, this becomes a permanent scenario here, and these buildings can be permanent down the road, and we can continue just to see things expand in our reach in this community. So anyway, that's I'm not teaching in the classroom. I'm not involved in staff hires and all of that. I mean, our school will be a school, and our principals and our head of school and vice principals will be the ones that you see and that are truly investing in the academics here and the way forward. But we hope we can bring some healthy DNA and culture, whatever that could be, to our school families and to this area. But anyways, we just hope to be a big blessing and to see this school thrive.
All right, very good.
Alright. So the next question that just came up is, and I don't have my glasses on, but I think I can read it. Will kindergarten be a full-day program? Many of the local public schools have recently moved to the full-day model. The school that I'm coming from, Saddleback Valley Christian, we've always had a full-day kindergarten, but we also want to see what the parents here would desire. So we actually talked about that this morning, for me to reach out to the parents and asking them, what do you desire for that? I think a full day kindergarten offers a lot for students to move forward. For some working parents especially, it's kind of a win-win. You don't have to worry about daycare midday or picking up midday, but it's also what would work best for this family on this campus. So I'm not making a hard and fast decision right now, because I really do want to hear from all of you and to see what is truly a desire. I would love to see it go to full day if that's what the heart of the families here desire.
Next is Phil.
And the next question is, SVCS went through 12th grade. Will RSMCS be offering high school grades 9 through 12 as well? I was a high school principal for 7 years, and high school requires a larger footprint to operate than we have here. This is a very good facility for preschool through 8th grade. So right now, unless we have some kind of different sort of offering for high school, the plans will for us to continue to be a school that prepares students to go to the high schools that are in the local area. We encourage parents to check out the local Christian schools. There's many good ones for high school. And then many of our parents choose for their kids to go to public school. But our aim is to prepare those kids for whatever school they end up going to. Now, a lot of our graduates end up being leaders in the public school areas. So our aim is to prepare your students for a great high school experience, ready to go forward as a disciple of Jesus. And that's what we're doing here. So I think if we had a bigger footprint on our property, we might consider something like that. But high school requires it's a big operation, and to do it well, you've got to have the room for that.
Ryan?
Sure. Question is there a vision for the campus, design plans, building improvements, building in the future? And you're speaking my language. Great question. That is certainly the hope. A couple of things. One is there is a design plan in the works for refreshing our campus now. What can we do now? So some of the look, facade, some of those things, areas that need some desperate improvement, certainly bathrooms and the kids' bathrooms, and we're gonna have fun, refreshing all of that. In fact, materials are being uploaded while I speak, and some things that we can use to help refresh some of those things. So that is kind of the now plan. The hope is within the next 4 to 5 years, we can share another plan for more permanent facilities here, and we'll see our new school continue to grow and thrive and become. And as it grows, thrives, and becomes, we'll see. Is it time for us to talk about those plans and campaigns and some of those things? That's our hope. Maybe 5 years from now, we can begin a process of building. That's at least my hope. That's in my heart. I'd love to see it. So anyways, great question.
Okay, our next question is, how do you see our community slash culture changing in this merge? I haven't been here a very long time, but one of the first things that I realized when I came on this campus and interviewed with our school board was that the community here was precious and it was vital. Our goal is not just to preserve the culture that we've had, but to enhance that and make it even stronger. And that's a culture of family, Jesus first. We're training our children to find their calling in Christ Jesus first and the career second. The paradigms and the belief systems and the culture that we have with the bridge are right down the line. And the blessing is that as we went through the process with Saddleback Valley, we soon came to realize that we had an incredibly similar vision for culture. I do not see the wonderful culture that we have of family, Christ-centric, worship-oriented school activities and family involvement. It will not change. If it changes, it'll be even better. It'll be more intense. It'll be absolutely wonderful and delightful as we place Jesus first in all that we do.
Can I speak to that one too?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I taught here for 8 years, and I remember the very first day that I came on this campus, and I told the story to them, and I remember getting out of the car and I put my foot down on the concrete, and I felt there was something different about the school. The Holy Spirit resides here and has a space in every single room on this campus. And I've been down to Saddleback Valley many times for ACSI events or whatever, and it is very much the same. You can just feel that. I like to use the word both schools have a very sweet spirit among them. And I don't see that changing at all. In fact, I see it getting stronger and growing and becoming even a greater light in this community, because we're just so alike. And so, like Principal Lewis said, it's going to be phenomenal. I'm excited to just help it grow and cultivate it. It's going to be great.
And could I just add, some of the teachers that are coming with me and the current Mission Hills student teachers have already met and had conversations, and it's kind of like they've known each other for years. They all speak the same language. They all have that same, it's all about the kids loving Jesus. It's all about the kids getting a great education. So from that standpoint, I don't think that there's really any cultural difference about who we are and who we will be. As Jill said, just making it even stronger. So.
How will the financials between the bridge and RSMCS be split? Will all donations and tuition for RSMCS go directly to the school, or will it be placed in a larger bridge RSMCS budget? How will the potential future profits be distributed between the two entities? Thank you for asking that question. I think that is like in the front of everybody's mind who maybe has been around Christian education and church and some of the dynamics that go on there. It's been on the front, I think, of everybody's mind. Certainly our hope is that all of us can learn wisdom rather than consequence, just from how it's been handled in the past, some of those best practices. I can tell you what we've already been discussing and the importance of it. I couldn't speak to how things were done in the past. I can only speak to some of the thoughts of how we're hoping to do things now. One is both the school and the church will be operating on their own budgets year by year. And so the goal for the school budget and the goal for the church budget is to end in the black. And so when we consider all that goes into running the ministry of the school and the ministry altogether, the church, they both have sources of income and ways. And so our hope is, one, to probably offer quarterly updates to our parents where there's access to our financials. So there's no surprises down the road. People understand what our budgets for the school are. To be very, very easy, streamlined for donations. So if there's fundraising, all of those things, those funds can be clearly identified and clearly seen and used for what they were intended for. That kind of stuff can be crystal clear. Just that picture where if there's questions, they get answered really easy, and it's not like a few people who understand what the heck is going on here, that we all as a community understand How is the school doing? How is this coming together? What's the budget built on? How does the budget work? So everybody can see what those budgets are. That much I can tell you is some of the wisdom we've gained through the years, and some of the things we say, hey, listen, we know some of the things not to do, and we certainly hope that our best practices of what to do and be a healthy organization going forward, some of those things will help that. So anyway, that's at least a few practicals as we consider moving forward, but we would want every person donating or in fundraising to feel totally confident that what they're giving toward, they can see that it's going toward those things.
Lori? Okay, the next question is, will there be combined classes again, and when will new teachers or staff be announced? Our goal actually is to, as soon as possible, go to 2 classes per grade level so that we wouldn't have any combined classes again. The teachers this year did an admirable job. They truly did. But we want to make sure every student is met where they need to be met as far as academics are concerned. So having single grade level classes, and if the Lord blesses us to have 2 classes per grade level for greater teacher collaboration, for greater teacher growth, and hopefully, again, we had that meeting this morning, hopefully by the end of next week, we will be able to release all of the teachers' names from both schools. And as Phil said, I don't think you're really going to see any changes with the Mission Hills Christian staff, maybe just a few grade level changes, but not that they're not coming back. So hopefully by the end of next week, we'll be able to release all of those names to you.
All right, will we still have our amazing concert series? Yes, if I have anything to do with it, because I think it's one of the most wonderful things I've ever seen as a fundraising event. And Joe Shabbat, our development director, and others involved are continuing to move forward. In fact, we do have plans to have our postponed concert scheduled again in July. And we're hoping that by that time the restrictions will be lifted. So we will continue to do this. It's twofold. One, it's unique, and the other is it's spiritually centric. If you've been to any of our events, you know that the worship there is amazing. And so being a campus that worships God demonstratively, freely, and with a great enthusiasm, these concerts will continue to be not just a fundraising event, which is it's been part of our budget in the past, but it's a spiritual time. The community comes together just to worship God. And so the answer is yes, that's our plans. We're going to continue to have those, and we're just hoping they'll get better and better with each other.
All right, the next question is, will there be an expansion of current programs or additional programs not offered before, including extracurricular? The school that I'm coming from Saddleback, we had a full STEM lab. We had extended academic learning assistance programs for students. What my goal is to look at what's the best of Mission Hills and what was the best of Saddleback and create an even better school from the get-go. So yes, we will have some expansions to current programs. There will be expansions in technology use in the classrooms for the students. Don't worry, we monitor screen time really, really well. But we really do want to bring the best knowledge from both schools and expand what we offer and make this the school, as I said before, that RSM and all the surrounding communities, this is the school they want to be at, because our programs are not just the same old, same old. There's forward thinking in what we're doing while appreciating the things that need to stay solid, those core academics that need to stay the same. So we are hoping to do that. Enrichment programs as well was part of the question. And that, again, we will look at and see what should be expanded as far as the enrichment programs for all of the students, all of the grade levels.
The next question we have is, what new tech will the students see? Well, we have a great person here to answer that question, who's been talking to you. We had, just to preface before she starts, we had our infrastructure last year because of some wonderful dads who came in, and we've upped our wireless technology with new equipment. But Saddleback has some really incredible programs and some hardware that we can bring over. So Lori, would you talk about that?
So we are bringing over from Saddleback all of our iPads for the younger grades and additional Chromebooks for the upper grades. And our teachers at Saddleback, when they used them, they weren't to replace teaching. They weren't to take the place of the teacher. Kids were not on the screen all day long. But it was to enrich and enhance, and in some cases reteach for those students that needed to see the lessons done in a different way. So we're bringing over all of that technology with us that your students will be able to enjoy this year. And I think it will make a huge difference in everything.
Okay, it says, will the curriculum change? I'm going to have Roy speak to that as well, but I'm going to just simply say that curriculum is constantly being looked at. It's a living concept. We try to be as consistent as we can with integration into our curriculum. But we're taking a look at that, but I'd like for Rory to go ahead and speak to that as well.
Yeah, another one of those, that's one of those things where we need to get the teachers together, because as Phil said, the curriculum isn't just the textbook that you're teaching from, it's everything that you're covering outside of the textbook, including what standards do we want to hit? What do we feel is important at this site? The blessing is that as a private school, we don't have to stick to the standards that public schools have to. We can go above and beyond and make sure that our kids, if they're ready to move forward, we can move them forward. We don't have to stick to it just because it's a standard for their grade level. So our curriculum will be constantly evaluated. What's the best of it? How can we enhance it? What do we need to replace? What do we need to keep? So that's kind of a living, breathing curriculum, as Phil is saying, that we're just going to keep evaluating and keep moving forward to bring about the best education for our kids.
Someone asked a question, class sizes. Will there be a max for class still? Here's the beauty of our plan, is that if we have 2 sections per grade, we would probably max out at 40 students in a grade, which would be 20 in a class. That would be our ideal goal. With those numbers, we can get to about 360 students K through 8, and it would still keep the classrooms smaller, less students. And another neat thing about our campus is, as best we can, we're going to have, if there's 2 second grade teachers, we're going to try to have them in rooms where there's a door between, so there'll be a lot of collaboration. We're also looking at some creative things about departmentalizing our lower grades and taking the best of our teachers and presenting the best of our talent to the kids across the board. I'm really excited about that, and Lori's brought that to the table as well. And so class sizes will be important, but we're looking at some innovative stuff that I think will make our learning better, make our teachers enjoy their teaching even more, and I think as parents you'll find it quite exciting. So we've got some really good plans in place to make our program just the best that it can be, and we want to keep the classroom sizes manageable. So that's kind of a number if you're looking for that, a maximum of 40 per grade. And you can do the math. We have nine sections from K through 8, and so anyways, that's to answer your question. That's our goal.
So we have a question about voting on a new mascot. Well, so we're the Saints here at Mission Hills. See, I still say we. We're the Saints at Mission Hills. They are the Warriors at Saddleback Valley. It's something that we definitely are going to have to find out.
The Dodgers.
Yeah,
We're just going to go with the Dodgers. That's just...
I was going to say that. The new colors are Dodger blue, and we're going to be called the Dodgers, yes. I'm sorry. Some of you may want to just unenroll right now because of that. I'm sorry. I apologize. But yeah, we want to get everybody involved. And you know what? We're thinking maybe we have a contest, and whoever comes up with the winning names, I'll bring in and out. Whatever. But we're excited about it. It's a new day. It's a new day for the school. Some people will be sad to see Saints go, and I'm sure people will be sad to see the Warriors name go. But we will come up with new colors, and we will get everybody involved in that. And there will be some sort of votes and some sort of final decisions as soon as we can. We'd love to have it in place before the school year starts. But that's definitely one of the things that's on our to-do list right now.
Be Trojans.
Dodger colors, and we'll call them the Trojans, yes.
Question for Lori.
hard to recover from that last
I
statement
know.
from the guys,
I
but
know.
whatever. All right, so the question is, will we still have our class trips, 4th grade Sacramento, 6th grade science, 8th grade DC? I think the trips are what make that grade level. I went on every single trip with our students. I'm not sure, do parents go on your trips with you? That to me is like one of the best times. You get away from the school, you go, you hang out with parents, you hang out with kids in a whole different environment than you are on school campus. I actually used to lead 4th grade tours a long time ago. So it's kind of fun for me to go back and fact check what the people are telling you about, the Capitol and stuff. So yes, my goal is to keep all of those current field trips and maybe even expand something in 5th grade that 5th grade could do as well. Again, we have to
Because
keep,
the pilgrim has sunk.
because the pilgrim has sunk. We cannot go to the
We're sorry.
pilgrim, I'm sorry. But we'll find something else to go to. But just to keep that, that just family feeling, I think that's a huge bonus to it. Even our parents will come back and say, oh my gosh, the 4th grade trip was amazing. Oh my goodness, the 6th grade trip was amazing. And if you can bridge that gap between parents and students and teachers and an admin on a class trip, I think that's the best thing to do. So yeah, that's my goal.
And I went on several, maybe over a dozen 6th grade science camp trips. And oh my gosh, the memories that I still have, sometimes I'll just look through the photos that I have downloaded on my computer, and it's just the greatest time. So yeah, we definitely are gonna keep that going.
Someone had a question about campus security questions and says, I work for the public school district and the campus has members of local law enforcement assigned to do programs like here at the school. Is there any relationship with local law enforcement? And the school did that as well. The answer is yes. We are policed by the Orange County Sheriff's Department. We have an individual sheriff's officer that's assigned to our school, and oftentimes you will see him on campus, and he parks his vehicle at the entrance. I've gotten acquainted with him. I've engaged him a couple of times on some security issues, but he knows our school well, and we're very glad to have that personal touch, so it makes a huge difference. Also, too, we are looking at, and I don't know what's going to happen because of COVID and all these different things, but we're looking to participate in a grant through the Homeland Security. And if we are able to secure that money, we will be upping our camera surveillance, even putting up more security fencing on our perimeter. And that will allow us to have better access to the campus online and in person. So another program that we have implemented, help me out with the name from the
I don't remember the name, but we had a sheriff's deputy who came for 6 straight weeks and talked about things like drugs, alcohol, firearms, smoking, the vaping, just the whole thing. And so we've done that. It's been a few years since I've been here, so I don't remember the name of it, but we did do that.
Oh yeah, he's one of them. Yeah.
So every year we've been offering a seminar, and I just have to say this, I'm a little disappointed the parents don't come to this particular thing that we offer. The name of the cyber cop is his name. I think he's a former FBI.
Orange County Sheriff.
Orange County Sheriff. And he is full-time going around and educating parents and students on internet safety. If you have a child between the age of 1 and 18 in your house, you need to be part of this program when we offer it next year. I don't think you realize the dangers that are out there sometimes and what your kids are exposed to. So we feel like right now, from a spiritual standpoint as well as a security standpoint, this is one of the things that we provide from at least once a year. And it's important that you participate and come to that seminar. Even if you've been to it before, it's good to get refreshed every year. To me, that's the single most security issue that we're dealing with right now, is keeping our kids safe online. And that's a whole other topic, but we're very, very, very concerned about the safety of our kids and the safety of our staff. So there's a commitment to that, to continue to reevaluate that yearly and to engage as many law enforcement and experts as possible to educate you as parents.
So just hopefully we understand the question right. And so if we don't, feel free to re-ask the question. But will the admissions enrollment criteria that MHCS has in place for prospective students remain the same, or will it be modified? Specifically, will the discipleship model expectation incoming students have a Christian household still be a priority? So if I understand it right, I would say this. This is the DNA that really was the spirit of Mission Hills and the spirit of Saddleback Valley Christian School, having talked to both of the principals from both. And it is that as a campus, we absolutely have a Christian discipleship model. That is our heart. That's our desire. We want to disciple kids to pursue their calling and who God's created them to be. And so those questions and families' answers to those questions and their priority to wanting that for their kids and agreeing to those expectations of a campus that is all about Jesus and all about discipling kids, that priority remains the same. It's still our heartbeat and our mission. So hopefully that answered your question.
Okay, the next question is, will there be any special technology needs, Chromebooks, laptops, etc., that a student will need at home as a complement to what they're learning in the classroom? From my experience and what we've done at Saddleback, everything is, it's not platform specific. There are certain apps that work better on an iPad than on a Chromebook, but again, the gist of what's happening is the same concept. So no, there should not be any special device that you're going to have to buy for your household. They should just be able to, if they're in the upper grades and they use Google Classroom will work on whatever device you already have at home. So there is not an additional cost there that you should be incurring, unless you want to bless your kid with a Chromebook at Christmas or something. But there's nothing additional that you should have to buy to help your student in that way.
We are out of questions, so I'll ask somebody else if there's any last remarks you guys want to throw in there, and see if anybody else has a question, and then we'll close out. We got 10 minutes.
Wow. Open forum.
Well, I want to say thank you
Great
for the
job.
questions,
Thank
because
you.
whatever you're
Question.
thinking, somebody else is thinking. And so it's so good that we have questions that we can either answer or be prepared to answer in a future meeting. So thank you for
So we're
asking.
going to be doing this every Thursday for the next few weeks between now and June 11th at 2 p.m. We'll come to you live. If you are watching recording, or whether you're watching live, you can submit questions. If you want to do that, you can just send it to Ms. Gravlin, D. Gravlin, at missionhillscs.org. That's Graveline. It looks like Graveline. So D. Gravlin at missionhillscs.org. I know I speak for the other three people sitting here. We are just honored to be able to sit here in front of you and answer your questions. And I'm beyond blessed, like I said, to be home again, and the fact that I get to work with these amazing people. But we truly appreciate you. We value you, and we just are excited to work with you and come alongside you when we can, whatever we can do for you, to make this the best school in the Valley, not just in RSM, but in the Valley.
Absolutely.
We've got one more question here, or two more. Our current students. Our current students. And that's the thing, that one. No?
Don't take that. Yeah. It says, will students from Mission Hills Christian School have first pick of the teacher if there will be more than one class taught per grade? Moving forward, our criteria for any choice between a teacher, first of all, we will not be necessarily giving you a option for a choice. That's something that is left up to the administration to decide based on years of experience and criteria. Everybody will be in the same boat as far as access to the teachers. It's the only fair way to do it. We're not segregating the two schools and giving options or preference to one or the other. Everybody coming in starting this year is one school, and we're going to treat it that way. And then just to be honest with you about that, and just say that there's a lot of thought and planning that goes into the selection of students for the individual classrooms. As much as we would like to be able to say, oh, well, you're going to be able to choose your teacher, I think we could say you can request or you can indicate your preference. But the bottom line is when it comes down to the final decision, that is up to the administration and the teachers to best serve the students that are there. So, and that's a question that we have to continually refine every year as we grow. So we're all going to be, it's just going to be a fair treatment for everyone approaching this because we are one school. We will remember the good things of Mission Hills. We will remember the good things of Saddleback Valley, and that we will bring those to the table. But in terms of preference for one school, whatever, no, we're not going to do that. We are going to basically treat everybody the same as part of this community.
Okay, we've got a final question. Who wants to read this one? Yeah.
When can we celebrate?
Wow.
Now?
Start celebrating.
Get out the party hats.
I can say,
Spread the word.
I can say, there's going to come a time, depending on how long this COVID stuff and distancing and all of that lasts. We don't know when, but when we can celebrate appropriately, I know that we would want to celebrate big time and really honor the heritage of these two schools and all that's gone before. So I know in my heart, there's at least that desire.
Yes, all of us. Yes, it will be, we will have that. There's a desire in talking with our staff members. Everybody wants to have that rejoicing time together as a community. I wish we could have it right now. But, there's some things we have to sort through with the COVID requirements and all those different things. But that is a priority. I am absolutely looking forward to that day when we all come together. What a day of rejoicing that will be.
Hopefully September.
August.
Well, yes, August.
Mike, if you want to just wrap it up again.
Yeah, so thank you all just for joining us. We're super excited. And remember, if you have any questions, to D. Gravlin at missionhillcs.org. And again, we're just honored. We're thrilled. It's a privilege to be able to sit here with you and answer your questions. Anything else you have for us, let us know. We're here for you. The office is open. We're going to start seeing our faces on campus more now that we're finishing out our current school years. And just let us know how we can help you, how we can come alongside you, what we can do, how we can pray for you, how we can pray for your families, for your students. We're here for you. You can email us or come by school. And I look forward to meeting all the new families that I don't know. And same with Lori and Ryan. And I know Phil knows most everybody. So we're excited to be a part of it. And we look forward to seeing you again next Thursday. God bless you guys. Thank you all.
Have a great weekend. God bless.